Hello and welcome to The Forge, a transformative space where young lives are built, transformed, and reformed for purpose. As you've always known, I, Victoria Talanuleke, I am your host. And on this beautiful and wonderful edition of The Forge, we will be discussing a very important topic to the youth of this generation. What is that topic? Sexual addiction and the youth of this generation. You know, sexual addiction is one silent struggle that a lot of young people are battling with. A lot of young people, they can't talk about it. They are dying silently as a result of sexual addiction and perversion. But I bring you a good news, because today you will be learning on how you can live above sexual addiction, how you can be free, and how you can be who you are meant to be, how you can walk in purpose and live a fulfilled life. You know, it's always our custom to bring people that are experienced to speak to us on these topics. And today we have Mr. Francis Adeyi in the studio. He will be taking us through the causes of sexual addiction, perversions, and how we, the young people of this generation, can rise above this rising monarch. Mr. Francis, please say hello to the house.
Hello. God bless you, everyone. Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to have you on this edition of The Forge.
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Francis, can you tell us what you understand by sexual addiction and perversion?
Okay. Thank you so much for this question. I believe there are so many youths that don't even understand what sexual addiction is. So, and because they don't have knowledge on it, they just find themselves doing it without anybody helping them out. Now, sexual addiction, and first I will talk about sexual desire and sexual addiction,
okay,
so that there can be a balance on it.
All right.
Now, sexual desire is actually a human feeling that drives a person to want to have sexual experiences. So these feelings are mostly influenced by several factors. We have, emotional factors, physiological factors that can stir up, that can release neurotransmitters like dopamine. And before you know, a person just wants to have sex and stuff like that.
Wants to explore.
Yes, wants to explore. But now when we talk about sexual addiction, it grows beyond desire.
Oh.
You are no longer you are no longer wanting to do. It has become a behavioral pattern.
An habit.
Yes, an habit that you find yourself, you are into it, you can't stop. So you now find out that there are people who, it grows from sexual desire. The moment they can't control that sexual desire, they find themselves in the act, and from there they become addicted. It is now a behavior.
Wow.
You're getting it? It's now
something they do every time. They do
constantly. It is now a pattern. So that's what sexual addiction is. It's actually a behavioral pattern of one being sexually inclined or sexually addicted to something, especially sex.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. So how can we as young people, you talked about this sexual addiction means be like getting used to an habit sexually. So how can we know, as a young person, how can they know that, okay, I'm already getting addicted to this sexual habit or getting used to it? Okay,
now, there are so many root causes and there are so many red flags you see around that. Now, the first sign that you know that you are becoming addicted sexually, that means you are now having this prompting to becoming addicted sexually, is number one, when your love for sexual things are now too high. That's number one. Because I studied recently, I did some studies on how how people became sexually addicted. Now, the first was actually the love for it. You now find young persons, suddenly you just want to have these sexual things, these desires around you. So you now see the guy is now the guy that doesn't love to see sexual pictures or pornographic pictures. He's scrolling on social media, and suddenly the same person that will pass by that pictures is now the same person that just wants to look at it. Wants to see it. The same persons that will look at some movie scenes and just forward it a little, now is now becoming attracted to it. So when you begin to see these signs, then know that it's already a red flag that you are already becoming sexually addicted gradually, because that is a gradual process. Wow. That's where it will start from. You will begin, there's this love and passion. You just want to, when it comes to sexual things, there is this, there is this passion you just have. There's this love you just have towards it. When you that could look at ladies and before you know, you just turn your eyes. Now you want to see how their shape is. There is this desire. There is this love. When you begin to find that love in your heart, know that something is wrong. Know that something is wrong. And know that the end product of it is that you are going to be sexually addicted in a short period of time, because once the opportunity presents itself, you have no option than to, yes, a very short period of time. You have no option than you cannot back out again, because it has already been conceived in your heart. So when love for sexual things, sexual scenes, sexual pictures, and sex, anything that concerns related to sex, once it begins to grow in your mind or in your soul, you just know that
you're not far from addiction.
You are not far from addiction.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Francis. He said something. He said those red flags, they come gradually. It's just a gradual process, little by little, little by little, and then just in a short while, just like he said, you discover you are addicted to it. So if you notice that as a young person, you are the type that sees obscene pictures and then look away, but you discover all of a sudden you are used to it, you are looking at it from time to time, please be warned. Know that that is a red flag that you might be getting addicted to sexual activities very soon. Okay, so Mr. Francis, what are the root causes of these sexual addictions and perversions?
Okay, as I was actually saying earlier, now, there are several root causes of sexual addictions and perversion. There is a statement I discovered of lately that the grave in our current dispensation is no longer 6 feet below the ground.
Wow.
That the devil has so much increase in wisdom in our current dispensation that he has brought the grave closer to most especially youth.
Wow, that's serious.
He has brought the grave closer to most especially youths. And what mediums has he been using? The medium of social media. The medium of social media. So you find that social media becomes one of the root cause by which so many youth in our dispensation becomes addicted. Once you go on that platform, they are sponsoring all kinds of nudity on the social media platforms, from TikTok, to Facebook, to Instagram, and you can see it constantly. So there are people who, it was via social media they became sexually addicted. They saw a picture, they saw a video of a lady dressed half naked, dancing with her cleavages, everything exposed, and before you know, they contacted it from there, and that thing they saw drove them to a pornographic site.
Wow.
They saw a picture and they said, I was checking something of lately in Facebook. After prayers, I was just scrolling my Facebook, and funny enough, I just saw I didn't know where that thing came from. I just saw a naked woman. I saw a naked woman. I didn't know where it came from. And that's how it was. And now say, so this is how so many persons fell for pornography. Because as you saw that thing on your news feed,
things happened.
You like, if you are not one that is strong enough and have not been disciplined enough, you will click it. And as you click on that link, it's taking you to a pornographic site. That becomes the beginning of your addiction.
Wow.
So social media platforms, very, 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 is paramount in our own dispensation. Number 2, peer group influence. Peer group influence. Peer group influence. There are people that became addicted to certain sexual life due to their friends. This is why you need to sieve out your friends. Know the people you are with. Because in our own dispensation and among youth in our own current day and time, it is once you go out to the streets, you find that everybody wants to belong. So your guys are having sex every night, are going to clubs every night and doing all kinds of things. And because you are around there, they will say, you know, there's a statement that this one are Jew. You know, this street statement, this one are Jew. Or you know, sometimes they'll start calling you man of God, man of God. And because you don't want to be called a man of God, you say, let me test.
And if it is for the sister, they'll say Holy Mary,
Holy
Mother of Jesus.
They'll start saying Holy Mary, Mother of Jesus.
Serious.
So these are few social media peer group influence, and there are so many which I believe as we move on I will keep on talking about.
Thank you so much for that. You know, he said something about the social media, so this is a wake-up call to every young people out there. You don't want to be influenced negatively by what you see on social media. You know, yeah, sometimes the things we see on social media, we can't actually control it.
Yes.
So it just needs to be disciplined. Don't spend most of your time on social media. Sometimes if we get busy doing important things, you won't be there on that social media to see that. So please, let's watch what we watch so that we will not end up in a pit that we might not be able to come out from. So, can you discuss with us some forms of sexual addictions and perversion?
Okay. There are very, very many. There are very, very many. So I will just pick like a few and talk about. Now, the first sexual addiction that is common among youths is what we call masturbation.
Masturbation.
Masturbation. Masturbation has killed the lives of so many persons. It has killed the life of so many persons. I'm telling you, if you go to a location and you find predominant persons there are youth, you'll be so shocked and amazed that 65 to 75% of those youths,
they masturbate.
They are into masturbation.
Wow.
So masturbation is found mostly among youths. There was a time in my lodge where I was staying, where it was as if virtually almost everybody there was into masturbation. Oh my. And it was a normal thing. Wow. That people could come out and they are boldly speaking about it. That's that I did this, I masturbated, this is how to do it, this is how to do it. So you find out that it's very common, it's a perversion that is spreading like wildfire among youth. Masturbation, very common among youth. Then you know, we have all kinds of fornication. You see that's sleeping around. You know, masturbation, you are doing it with yourself, using all kinds of substance. You see ladies using cucumber, guys. Now, they have even modernized it to a point where now there are toys. There are toys that you can use to satisfy yourself. To satisfy yourself. So masturbation is you doing it with yourself. Then, you know, fornication and sleeping around, having sex, is where you now have a partner. You now have a partner. That's also an addiction that so many persons are into, and a very deadly perversion. Then you move to homosexuality and lesbianism and the rest. These are perversions, sexually perversions that have crept into our world today and is very paramount among youth. So once people have an idea that these things are actually wrong, because people don't even know they are wrong.
Some people don't even know.
You know, in the Western world today, currently now they teach in schools that sex is an exercise. Wow. So you now see that when you go out to the Western world, when you go out, you now find that this thing is a norm. Is a norm. So people don't know that these things have side effects, both spiritually, physically, psychologically. So you find that they are just doing it. We have all kinds of lesbians. I've spoken to lesbians, I've counseled lesbians and helped them out, and also homosexuals. They don't even know it is wrong. Now, you know, in the Western world now, they can tell you that you can choose your gender. Yeah. It's a perversion that have crept into the world today. So a guy can wake up today and say, I no longer feel like a man. I want to be a woman. So you now find out that the guy is now changed his identity, that is now a man lady. A man lady. That's serious. So you see that these are perversions that have crept into masturbation, homosexuality, you know, lesbians and gay and the rest. They have crept into the world today and they are very paramount among youth. Thank you so much for that. You know, he said something. He said a lot of people don't even know that these
addictions. But thank God for a platform like this, and thank God for inviting you here. So if you're out there, you're masturbating, you are into homosexuality, fornication, lesbianism, gay, please, you know now that it is wrong to be involved in such things. And just like I said, there are side effects. So speaking of side effects, what are the side effects? You said there are side effects spiritually, physically, and even psychologically. So can you share with us some of these side effects?
Okay. Now, I'll first of all start with psychological side effects.
Okay.
Now, once you find a person who is sexually addicted, what happens is that that person begins to lose his sense of reasoning. You are deadening, or should I use the word, you are depleting your ability to recept in the spirit. Not only in the spirit, like, physically, you are depleting your ability to have your receptor cells are getting dead on a daily basis. So when you look at a guy, that kind of person in an academic structure, for instance, the guy can't receive well. The reason is because everything that flows in his mind is being preoccupied by that sex, by that sexual addiction. So he doesn't have the sense of reasoning accurately again. It has deadened his brain cells to reason.
Wow.
To reason. So when you look at them, in fact, there was a guy in our 100 level. I like talking with experiences. There's a guy in our 100 level. This guy is very smart. This guy was on 4.3 something. Could you be so amazed that in our 200 level, this guy became a second class lower student? Why?
Yes.
Because he became sexually addicted. Ladies were coming to us, he was sleeping with ladies. Sometimes he talks he talks, it doesn't even make sense any longer.
Oh, serious.
His cells, his brain cells are now getting dead. He cannot reason properly again. This is why when you find a leader who is sexually addicted, that leader can never bring the best to his people. He can never bring the best to his people. So the trap that the devil has been using let me just migrate a little, among leaders in our nations today, is that he traps them to become sexually addicted. So the man is a leader of a group of persons, but he's sleeping around with over 55% of the ladies in the place. So before you know, he cannot lead the people any longer because he's being preoccupied. He doesn't even have the heart of the people in his soul any longer. He cannot lead them effectively. So once you find a man that is sexually addicted, his sense of reasoning begins to die. And once your sense of reasoning begins to die, you cannot make effective impact in your generation any longer, because you cannot think above yourself. You're only thinking of how to satisfy pleasure.
Sexual desires.
So you cannot think above yourself. Check 95% of people that truly made impact in the world. There were people that abstained from that thing called sexual addiction.
Wow.
They abstain from it. Check the people that have breakthroughs in science. Check all of them. When you study their lives, there were people, I don't have time to start talking about each and every one of them, but there were people that abstained from sexual addictions. This was why they had certain breakthroughs in life. But if you check our dispensation now, you find out that there are certain persons that they can't break to even through self. There is a problem because they are being preoccupied by sexual thoughts and sexual addictions. So that their sense of reasoning naturally dies. You might have it from the start, but as you become addicted to sex, to sexual things, it begins to die. I'm talking about the spiritual aspect because I'm a man of God.
Okay.
I'm a minister of the gospel. So the spiritual aspect is very, very important. Once you find a man that is sexually addicted, that man in the realms of the spirit cannot receive from God. When I mean receive from God, is that man cannot carry out the biddings of God. That man cannot be used by God. cannot be used by God. Once you find a man who is walking in addictions, especially sexual addictions, that man can never. Remember, the Bible said our body is the temple of God. So the moment God finds out that you are no longer his temple, he cannot make use of you any longer. And I make reference to 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 19 down to 21, where the Bible says, nevertheless, the foundations of the Lord stand sure. The Lord knoweth them that are his. Having this seal, he said, let every man that nameth the name of the Lord depart from iniquity. In the great house, there are not only vessels of gold, of silver, but of earth and of wood. He says, some are unto honor, some are unto dishonor. The Bible now went further. It now said, if a man purges himself, he shall become a vessel unto honor, meet for the master's use. So the reason why you find so many persons in the world, so many persons who claim that they love God, even among believers and Christians, is because most of the time so many of them are into this sexual addiction, so God cannot use them effectively. So once you find a man who is sexually addicted, God cannot use him. You cannot make impact in your generation. You cannot receive from God. You cannot hear God. You cannot effectively do signs and wonders through God, because you are what? Sexually addicted. It shortens your spiritual receptacles. It shortens your spiritual senses, and you can no longer have access to God effectively. So those are some of the things that, and also emotional. I have not even spoken about emotional effects.
Okay.
Now, emotionally, what it does is that it affects your relationship life. Once you find somebody who is sexually addicted, he no longer trusts the opposite sex any longer.
That's why people say men are scam. There's no real man again.
Thank you. Thank you. And once you find a lady who is sexually addicted, he feels everybody coming around wants sex and wants to take advantage of her. So she can no longer receive from people, the opposite sex coming around her. It has affected her relationship life. She sees everybody as a sex object, because she herself, she's sexually addicted. So it affects your relationship life very, very well. Once you find guys and people who, there are people who just feels that every lady is a sex toy. So once they are relating with you, they are looking for something at the end. Once they are talking to you, they are telling you, your dress is fine, you are looking beautiful, your hair is fine, your this is fine, your this is fine. The end product of all that things they are doing is to the end of sex at the end. So that's what they can no longer have genuine relationship again with the opposite sex. So emotionally, it affects your relationship life.
Thank you so much for that. I seriously am learning a lot. He has taken us through the side effects of being sexually addicted. Psychologically, he said the level of reasoning goes down gradually. Spiritually, he said you no longer receive from God. You can't even live up to the standard of God. And then emotionally, he said as a lady, as a man, you start seeing everybody around you as a sex object. And if you look at this critically, this is what a lot of young people in this generation are actually battling with. You see a guy, once he sees a lady, the only thing that comes to his head is sex. And I'm sure a lot of people will be liberated as a result of this section of the Forge. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know, can you share with us any story, personal? It cannot be personal, but we'd like to hear personal stories, because I really want people from the house to learn from personal experiences. Okay. Any story of any sexual addiction and perversion, and practical ways of breaking away, or how you broke free from such addiction.
Okay. I'll trust God to share personal stories, and also stories that have helped people out from it and how they break free from it. Now, let me give you a short story about myself, because there was a time in my life where I became I was also a victim of sexual addiction. Now, I remember then when we were growing up, because I stayed in the city of Makurdi, so I stayed in a place called Wadata. Now for people that knows that place, Wadata. So that's why I made reference to peer group influence. So everyone around us, we the young guys, we were, you know, everybody was just wanted to live a high life because it was like a ghetto area. So everybody wanted to live a high life. So you see your friends, and sometimes we go to baits together. So everybody, when we are baiting, we can be plenty, and we are taking our bait. So everybody was just, you know, playing with themselves and playing. That's how masturbation started. And so we thought it was a normal thing, and that's how we started doing it. And before you know, we became addicted to it. So I came into a very strong hold of addiction to a point whereby you can't even live a day without masturbating. That's how it was strong. It was strong like that. You can't live a day without masturbating. So that's how I was battling with it. Sometimes when I even gave my life to Christ, I think then when I was coming up, when I gave my life to Christ, a point will come whereby I will, you know, after you have come to church and you have worshiped, lie down on the altar and say, Lord, I give you all, my soul, my heart. I will not do it again. And I go back, it will still come again. I will still do it. It will still come again. I will still do it. So I found out that I was caught in the web of masturbation. The reason why I'm sharing my story is because the Lord has shown me mercy, and I've helped so many persons out of it through my life. And I know that there's somebody listening to us now that's going to also be helped and be brought out from that web. So that's how I find out that I was in that cobwebs of masturbation. I will come to the church even after I gave my life to Christ. So giving your life to Christ alone does not end. It does not stop there. Even after I started serving God and living a good life, I find out that I was still caught up in those webs. After prayers, masturbation. In fact, there was one of my friends that was also caught up in that web, that he would tell me that, sir, after I've prayed in tongues, and I've prayed, Lord, I will not masturbate again. The moment he finished praying, he's going to the bedroom. That's how thick his own was. So after these things was happening, the Lord started teaching me how the Holy Ghost helped me. He started teaching me that the first way to break out from any sexual addiction, be it masturbation, be it lesbianism, be it gay, be it pornography, be it what's it called
fornication.
Now? Yes, fornication. The first way is that these things are sponsored by spirits, and people must be aware of it, because once addictions are sponsored by spirit beings, demonic spirits. Are we getting it? So once these spirit beings are there, they go against your will. So whether you want to stop or you don't want to stop, you are being compelled.
Controlled.
You are being controlled to do it. So once these spirit beings are there, you have no option than to just do it. So the first thing to do is that those spirit beings must be casted out, must be shifted away. If those spirit beings have not shifted away, you can keep all the whole discipline in this life and you will still do it. Because these are experiences I'm sharing. You can keep all the whole discipline in this life and you still do it. So the first thing to a person that is sexually addicted, the first thing that person needs to do is what? That person needs to seek God to have this, should I use the word deliverance? Or needs to seek God for the spirit in charge to be shifted away. Whether you think there's no spirit or you think there's spirit, there is spirit. As far as it is addiction, it is being sponsored by spirit. So those spirits must be casted out. Once those spirits are casted out, that's when the discipline now comes in play. Because the spirit can be casted out. If the disciplines are not there, you still find yourself going back to it. So once those spirits are casted out, once you are being prayed for, you look for somebody that can pray for you, or you tell the person, a man of God that you trust so much that can pray for you. The man of God prays for you and casted out the spirit of masturbation. The next thing is to keep the disciplines. You shut the gates. You shut the doors that, gives room for those things. What are the doors? You shut the things you watch, the things you see. There are people that they are no longer masturbating again, but until a certain time came, they started watching a movie. And in our world today, the world is so bastardized to a point whereby the entertainment industry have done all kinds of havoc. They have done all kinds of havoc. They have done good also, but they are causing more havoc. Yes. Because you now find out that the sins are now real. You now find the lady having sex with the guy. Before, those times in Nigerian Nollywood movies, when they want to have sex, you will just see where they will say they want to have sex, then they will shut the scene. But this time, they are not shutting the scene, they are doing it till the end. So there are people who probably after the spirit they are being prayed for, after the spirit is being casted out, they now find themselves going back to it because those doors are not shut. So the guy started watching a movie and suddenly he sees a sex scene, and from that sex scene
he's aroused again,
and he goes back. So you must shut the doors, the things you hear, the things you see, the things you listen to, the things you watch. You begin to shut those doors. If it takes you to go off social media for a certain period of time, you go off social media until you build those disciplines around your life. If it takes you to stop talking to certain persons to sieve your cycle, you sieve your cycle, sieve your friends. Everybody must not be your friend. In fact, those times, how God helped me was because those times, those times we were going to club and the rest, doing all kinds of things. But the moment God started helping me out from those things, the first thing I did was I stopped. I sieved my cycle. I stopped mingling with my friends any longer. They will come and say, Francis, everywhere the bubble, more enter. Once it's 10 o'clock, once it's 9 o'clock, we are gyrating. We are gyrating because we want to go to the club, and after the club, we'll do all kinds of things. Once it's that time, that's when all those guys will now come and say, Francis, today waiting will happen. I knew that if I had to break out from these things, I have to stop following those guys. That was part of the step. I shut those guys off. Now they are seeing me. Now they are coming to me for help. Wow. Sometimes if you want to help those are around you, sometimes you need to separate yourself from them and receive total freedom before bringing them out. You can't go out with everybody. I can't be free and say I want to free all my friends by all means. I need to be totally free, well equipped, then come back and free them. Now they are coming, they are on my DM almost every day, chatting me for help, chatting me, sir, how did you do it? We were like this before. How God has helped you now. We are now seeing your pictures, your videos, how you are impacting life. I want to be free also. You are getting it. But first, I had to leave them. I had to leave them. You shut those gates. You shut the things you see. You shut the things you watch. If it takes you, I stopped watching Nollywood and American movies for a long period of time. A long period of time, because you can be free, the spirit can be casted out of your life, and you can still find those things around you and still go back to it because you have not shut those gates. In fact, there was a time I stopped doing social media.
Wow.
And even when I started doing social media, I blocked everything blockable. All the groups that needed to be blocked, I blocked it. Or the moment I just find out that you are now wanting to start posting all kinds of things, I block you. Is my social media is not your own.
You can manage it yourself.
Yes, I choose what I want to see. I choose what I want to see. So you start shutting those gates. You start shutting the gates. Shut the gates of the things you watch, the things you see, the friends you listen to, the things you hear. Because even this, because I'm a believer, and I will say it very plain. Because even these worldly songs in themselves, they are, humans, we are conductors of electromagnetic radiation. We are antennas in the spirit. So the things you hear has the ability to be, the life of the person that sang that song have the ability to be transferred to you. So while they were producing that song, they were doing all kinds of things. They were drinking, they were high on marijuana. After they just came out from the bed of fornication. As you are listening to those songs, those things are being transmitted into your life. A lady came and met me and said, sir, I want to break out from this. After I prayed for her, she went back and she was, sister, the thing still came. And I said, okay, tell me about your life. We started checking. That's when we find out that the lady was an addict to worldly music. The lady was an addict to worldly music. The moment she hears those guys, the next thing she doesn't even know something just arose in the inside of her. She wants to go back to masturbation. She wants to go back to fornication. So the things you hear, because we are antennas, we pick signals. So the moment you hear those things, the neurons are being secreted. Because where it came from, it also came from somewhere that is not of God. It came from a bed of fornication. So before you know, those things are aroused in you. So you must shut the gate of what you hear, the gate of what you see, the gate of what you listen to, and the gate of what you watch. So it will really help you after the spirit is being casted out to break free from any sexual addiction.
Oh, I'm sure every young people out there watching me, you will agree with me that we are really having a very important conversation. Like, you're really learning from it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
I want to ask,
okay,
what is your view? Do you feel purpose discovery is important in resisting this sexual addiction and perversions?
Yes. You know, purpose also plays a very imperative role in to not being sexually addicted. Yes, because when you discover who you are, it keeps you on your toes. Yes, and as a young man and as a young human hearing the sound of my voice, this is why you must strive to know who you are. Because the first thing God did for me was that the moment I came into the kingdom, the moment I started serving the Lord, the moment what God did for me is that He now began to show me who I am. And now discover that I am sent to a generation. And now discover that I am a preacher of the gospel. That alone changed my narrative, my mindset to everything. It changed my mindset to everything. So the things I was doing before, I could no longer do them again. Because I now know that I am a new person. When you discover who you are, you cannot go and do certain things. Whether you see, I was reading a story about I heard a story about this man called Abacha.
Okay.
And the former
president.
Yes, the late president. Now he went outside the country, and he wanted to, outside the country there's a way they live their lives there. So people were going to the club. So he wanted to enter into the club. As he was going, he wanted to step inside. He just told himself that, then he was not the president. He just told himself that, I'm a president of a nation.
Okay.
The man just told himself that, I'm a president of a nation. That I cannot do this. I cannot be seen doing this. I cannot make this part of my journey in life. Where I'm going to, because I'm a president of a nation, I can't do this. And immediately the man turned back from there. And after a few years, he became the president of Nigeria.
Wow.
So knowing who you are helps you to live a kind of life. This is not you faking it or being hypocritical. Yes, hypocritical about it. This is you living your life, living who you are destined to be. So when you understand that you are sent to a nation, when you understand that you are a voice to a generation, when you understand what God is saying for your life, it helps you to stay away from things that are not of God, things that will not push you to where God has destined you to go to. So knowing purpose keeps you on a lane. It separates you from the things of the world, from the things of darkness, from especially sexual addictions. It separates you from there. It helps you. That also plays a role. But that is not the full scope though, but it plays a major role because it helps you. It really, really helps you.
You know what to involved in and what to stay clear of.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. He said purpose keeps you on your toes. So just like we know, this is a space for young people to discover themselves. So we are telling you today that you need to discover yourself, discover who you are, discover who God has created you to be, so that you won't be going around doing things that won't even help your life and destiny. Thank you so much for that. So what is the role of parents, caregivers, religious leaders, our pastors, our imam? What's their role in this issue of sexual addiction and perversion? How can they help this generation that is gradually going down the drain as a result of this maniac?
Okay, now let me start with parents. Now, parents have to have a very close relationship with their children. With their children. Okay, let me use myself as an example. Although my parents, they are close to me, but not close in depth to a point where they can know
doing something.
Yes, my personal life, and they can draw me close and help me out. Because there are certain people that are certain youths that are sexually addicted, but they can't even meet their parents because they are afraid. And it's not supposed to be so. The first person, once you are into such kind of things, the first person you are to be open to go and meet is even your parents. But because that avenue has not been created by the parents, the entrance space have not been created by the parents. The only thing is, Emeka, where are you going to? Emeka, don't go. No, those things are very good. Those rules and regulations actually helped us while we were growing up. But far and beyond that, you go to a point where you can have a one-on-one discussion with your daughter and know what she's passing through. I believe if parents begins to do this and not just see their children as their children, but also their children, they draw them close as their friend. I don't know how this can be achieved, but your child is not just your child. She's your child, she's your daughter, but far and beyond her being your daughter, you also brought her close to a point.
Sorry to interrupt you. There is this story of Ben Carson I read about this. The mother of Ben Carson, that's all your cousin.
Yes.
She said she saw her children as her purpose in life. So she gave all to them, that she's going to make sure they amount to something. So that's when, even when Ben Carson was failing,
yes,
she was able to help them. I should chip in this with what you said.
Yes, very important. So you see them, just as she said, as her purpose. So you draw them very close. Know down to what they are going through emotionally. You are not just beating your child every day. Junior, you did not wash plates. You are just slapping and that kind, they will carry plate and hit us, throw us things.
It was not helping.
It was not helping. So we are actually afraid of them, but there's no connection. There's no connection because that space have not been created. So you draw your child close after spanking her, after beating her, because it says spare the child but don't spare the rod. So yes, so after spanking her and doing all that, still draw them close and know what they are going through. Know what they are passing through in school. Know their friends. This is not you stalking them. This is just you having a relationship with them. To know their best friends. Know the people they are close to. Know them. Know the things, how they relate. Know them. Create this friendship between you and your children so that you can know their in-depth. From there, you can help them. Because so many of them are sexually addicted and they have nowhere to run to. So they are doing it in their same father's house for more than 15 years.
Serious.
And the father is not even aware. So, but once this relationship is there from parents to children, from father to child, you now find out that parents now can chip in and help their children out from it. So that's the role I believe parents should play. Then concerning our pastors
and our
imams, they have been doing a very wonderful job. They have been doing a wonderful job, and they should also tell us because when people know the spiritual effect of this, the spiritual implication of this, they will begin to drift away from it. They will begin to drift away from it. So in our churches, in our mosques, they are telling us that this is it, this is the reason why you don't need to do it. This is the reason why you need to, not just coming to just excite our appetite. We, especially among youth, this is not a time where, in as much as it's good, but this is not a time where youth, the only thing is just to excite the appetite of youth. Dance. You will make it tomorrow. This. There are people that are battling with things deeper than that, deeper than they making it tomorrow that will even make them not to make it tomorrow. So even the prophetic declaration, which are very good, which are very, very good, but far and beyond that, you need to teach them things that can help them out, because religious platforms are one of the platforms that only few percent, which are atheists, doesn't go to church, and people who are just random, but many percent of young men and women go to churches. So if the religious leaders can create platforms whereby they can tell them the disadvantage, the consequences of these things, it will really go a long way.
Thank you so much for that. He has talked to parents out there, and even to we, the young people. I'm a potential parent, so I'm learning too. So we are meant to see our kids as our calling, our purpose. You make sure you are close to them. We young people, we're actually going through a lot, just like you said. And until young people speak up, you don't know the gravity of what they are going through. So that your child will be able to open up to you, and so you can help them. Please be close to them, just like you said. Don't just be spanking. In this part of the world, your mother can use anything to beat you. You sit on a stick, you see slippers. So please, let's go beyond that. Let's form a relationship, a deep bond with our words, so that we can help them, and to our religious leaders, as well our pastors, our imams. Please, let's make the spiritual implication of sexual addiction and perversion known to our young congregation, young gathering, so that they can stay clear of it as much as possible. So very shortly, we've spoken about how parents can help, how our faith-based organizations can also help. So how can government and regulatory bodies and agencies, how can they also contribute to saving this generation from the rising sexual addiction and perversions?
Okay. Government can also play a major role in this, in helping. That's where awareness can be made by several, even NGOs. Yes, NGOs can also come in. And I believe I've been also seeing some NGOs going about giving awareness to these things. So in platforms, in schools, if possible, I believe there is a part of our syllabus in our secondary schools that deals with this in one of the subjects.
Civic education, social studies.
So the teachers, they should bring awareness to these things, that these are the dangers, these are what it does, these are the things it can do to your life and make you not to succeed in destiny. So governments can spread the awareness, because they have a longer hand to some extent. They can reach to certain local areas that even the religious platforms cannot do. Even they can reach to certain areas, so they can go to interiors also and reach out to those persons and bring awareness to them. They can go to certain schools, and programs should be created. Programs after every 2 months, 3 months, it should be created across the state,
to sensitize,
sensitize all these things, created across the country, across the states, to really help them, because so many persons are not aware. As I said, you'll be so shocked and amazed. It's only you that knows that what that thing is called masturbation. Some persons don't even know that thing. It's only you that know that thing is fornication. Some persons it just thinks it's a way of flexing. Some persons just think it's a way of having fun. It's only me and you that knows, and some other persons.
Thank God they are knowing already.
That knows that this thing is called this. Some persons don't even know, and they don't know the dangers.
And ignorant, they say,
yes,
kills.
Ignorance kills. So.
Thank you so much. It's been a productive and resourceful conversation we've been having. So, what final word, final advice would you give to any young people out there battling with masturbation, other sexual addictions and perversions, or even those people that are still being compelled or still thinking about it, by what they watch, people that are still used to that are still used to all these social media handles, watching things that can actually lead them or lure them into these sexual addictions and perversion, what final word will you give to them and to us as your people?
Now, what I would say to you is that don't die in the addiction. Don't die in the addiction. You can be better than this. You can be better than this. So it doesn't matter how addicted you are. It doesn't matter what you are going through. You can still break free from it. Because there are certain persons that don't even know they can break free. But I came here to tell you, as one who has broken free and as one who have helped others out, that you can break free from it. You can break free from it. So don't die in that addiction. It doesn't matter what you are going through. Just be determined that you want to break free from it, and you will break free from it. This is not the best. This is not your best. There is more to your life. Yeah. There is more that God has for you in this destiny. So don't stop at that low level of addiction. No, you can. There is more to your destiny. You can come out of masturbation. You can stop pornography. You can stop fornication. These things are possible. And don't think there is no way out. There is a way out. There is a way out. If you just do some of the things we just stated here, you can break free from it. I'm telling you, you can break free from it. So don't give up on yourself. You are destined to be great. Don't give up on yourself. And don't have inferiority complex that nothing good can come out of your life because you are addicted. Something can still come out of your life. So be determined, and I tell you, you'll break free out from that addiction. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Francis Adeye. So much, we are so blessed and honored to have you on this show today. You know, he has given more than final words. He said a lot of words to every young person out there. He said, you don't have to die in that addiction. Seek help. Please speak up. Speak out. Don't look down on yourself. Don't feel you have come to the end of the road. There is still more about your life. There is still more about your destiny. God has not created you to wallow and die just in the sexual addiction and perversion that you found yourself. It is a phase of your life that you can actually come out from and be better. So this is a call to every young people out there. We already know now, if you are not aware before, you're already aware now that sexual addiction and perversions, they are not something you should be used to. Please speak up, speak to someone. And as you know, we are always available to help on this show. So I'll be dropping my phone number. It will be displayed on the screen. You can see it. So you can reach out through text message or WhatsApp message. If you have any questions or if you want to reach out to him personally, I hope you're available for that, sir. No problem. Yeah, thank you. So you can just reach out through the phone number that will be displayed on the screen, and you will have access to him. We are always here to help you. So with this, we are drawing the curtain of the Forge today. I want to tell you that your future shouldn't be forced, but your future can actually be forged. So as from now on, you can choose to live a life void of all forms of sexual addictions and perversions and begin to live in the fullness of what God has created you to be. Once again, Mr. Francis, thank you so much for being with us on the show today. We're grateful to have you.
Thank you.
And you know, I remain your host, your beautiful host, Victoria Talanreleke. See you again on another edition of The Forge. Please stay safe. Thank you and bye.